is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to No Other Pod on Kansas City Sports Network. I am not Jimmy Mack. I'm Daniel Kooser, and I'm here today with my partner on the women's soccer side of things. I'm currently Chris Wright. Chris, thanks for filling in for Jimmy, man, when he's out and about. How you doing?
Doing well, man. It's a very exciting weekend, a bunch of soccer and WrestleMania. So a lot of action this weekend.
You know, I know you don't get down with the WWE all that much, but did you actually watch or just kind of catch things online?
I watched a lot online. I watched about as much as you could without actually watching it. But man, it looked like a great event.
I am 38 years old and I cried. Dude, wrestling has gotten wild. It is now emotional, and there's this storytelling. It used to be just like, oh, look at these grown men doing battles, strengths of feet and all feats of strength, and now it's like, no, there's like stories, and you feel things, and I'm like, what are you doing to me?
Well, it's like years in the making. It's like 10, 15 years. Cody's story in AEW and just built himself up. Hopefully we won't spoil it, by the way, but just there's so much story out there. And plus all the returns, the big names, looked really, really good.
They did a chair spot that was kind of a flashback to when Seth betrayed Roman with a chair 10 years ago. And I was like, wow, dude, this is that long-term storytelling that's just, no one has any idea. But if you did pay attention back then, you're rewarded for it now.
Right.
Pretty wild. So I'm in a WrestleMania hangover. I needed a fun wrestling event after this game this weekend, my friend. You and I were not able to sit together. You had other engagements, so you sold your ticket to a buddy of mine who came to his very first sporting game. Actually, very first professional live sporting event.
Wow.
Yeah, he'd never been to anything. He's been to college, been to high school stuff, obviously, but never a professional sporting event. And boy, oh boy, I thought he was going to get treated to a classic. I was like, bro, you are at one of the best games ever. Some games have 0 goals, and we have 3 in the first half. I'm telling you, to say I was flying high at halftime and feeling very good by my buddy and my wife, I was like, guys, we are having a great day. And that day was ruined, and I could not have been more mad. You watched a little bit of it. You probably caught the highlights, right?
I watched the first half and caught some highlights on a little bit of footage. Yeah.
Dude, it is even the highlights, it's a tale of 2 halves. I mean, it's like, hey, let's watch Sporting play offense for 45 minutes. Well, now Sporting's got to play defense for 45 minutes. It was insane how the possession just shifted like that. And Peter Mason's not happy. If you guys live under a rock, we blew a 3-0 lead to the Portland Timbers. Yes, we got a draw, but dude, how many times has this happened this season already? I saw a stat during the game. I was looking at the replay that said Sporting has given up 7 points from a winning position this season. Well, tack on 2 more. We've now lost 9 points from being in a winning position. Do the math, bro. We're at the top of the fucking league if we have those points. It's insane, man. You go back to that Philly game, being up 2-0 and then losing 3-2. LA Galaxy, blowing that and then blowing this. How do you go to Toronto and whoop some Toronto FC ass and then come here and do that on home turf, man? I don't know. How you feeling? Am I too riled up?
No. It's just hard to put into work. It's like a Jekyll and Hyde. It's how can we be so good in the first half? How can we execute? How can we defend? How can we do all the things a successful football team does? And then the second half, just it's the opposite. I don't know if maybe they try to do a tactical shift or maybe they're tired legs. I don't know, man. It's just frustrating. Like you said, top of the table. The narrative of this team in this season right now would be significantly different. We would be, we're going to preview the Miami match. It'd be Miami playing the number 1 team in MLS, Kansas City. Yeah, it would be how it was built. Messi as the, number 1 team in the league, Kansas City, at Arrowhead. That's what it would have been.
Yeah, and now we're sitting in, 7th, I believe? 7th place, so right above the playoff line. But dude, without that, I mean, with those other points we've given up, we're Supporters Shield leaders. Supporters Shield, man. When's the last time we could say that?
I was about to say the same thing. I don't know. I really
7
don't.
games in.
I don't know the last time we were competing for that. I know it's early, but still.
It is early. But you got to say, dude, if you're going to take something good from this, it's there. We're there. Something is there. And we're firing. Danny Rosero, look out, corner kicks. He's coming in with reckless abandon. Goalkeeper punched him in the face. Did you see that?
Yeah, he came in face up, hit it with his forehead. Yeah, he was willing to take a shot, which I love, by the way. Willing to take a shot to score that goal.
Didn't matter that the goalkeeper tried to punch the ball away, but punched his face away. He gets right up and jumps into the cauldron. Now, this was the second goal. We're not going in order because we're all over the place. Because guess what? We got a special interview today, man. Jake Davis is here with us. Jimmy and I spoke to him last week, and so we plugged that in here today. I'm excited for you guys to hear it. But, dude, I'm just going to say it right now. Our Holiday Distillery toast of the match, got to go to Willy Agada. I'm throwing it out there. The man scored twice. 2 really great goals. So I got the 5 Farms Irish Cream, of course, Holiday Distillery. Toast of the match, Willy Agada. What the hell, dude? Alan Polito was on the bench. And I'm thinking, okay, let's see what happens. And Willy Agada's out there earning his paycheck. Do we need them both? It feels really weird to think that, doesn't it?
It's nice to have. And when we played the Galaxy, when they were both playing, by the way, like that was a very powerful offense. They had a lot of opportunity. Second half, kind of shit the bed there. But offensively, like Agada's produced, man. If he has opportunities, I like how aggressive he is.
Yeah.
Like he doesn't always wait for a perfect opportunity. He just lets a rip. And sometimes that turns into opportunity.
Bro, it was it was very he's very aggressive because that first goal, he just hits it right away. Doesn't even like really take a touch. The ball's there, he just fires it on net and it takes a deflection. And because when he's firing it, the goalkeeper's reacting to that, but it takes that deflection and the goalkeeper's just like, shit. And it goes right in the net, man. And I start thinking like, dude, Willy Agada has had like moments. I think I saw a stat like he has scored or assisted. I'm not going to misquote that stat because I don't know what I'm talking about.
When he came in, right? Like he kind of took our team by storm. We didn't have much of an offense until he came over and right away was contributing. I mean, he flashed then and he's flashing now. And that guy, could you take him off the field when Polito's fully healthy? Would you be able to take him off or would you try to
want to?
Yeah.
He's scoring. Dude, here it is. I found it. He has 12 goals in 11 career regular season home starts at Children's Mercy Park. That's at home, dude. 12 goals in 11 starts at home. Okay. That first goal happens. Then Danny Rosero comes in and does his blast of a header. And then we get we just keep scoring these fun goals. Like there's a cross that comes in and the ball is headed down right to Willy's foot. And he blasts that in, and it's 3-0 before halftime. And now I'm thinking, okay, you got Alan Polito on the bench for like extra firepower if you need him. And you're thinking like, but we don't need him. We don't need to bring him back from injury, like keep him off, right? I'm excited, dude. Like at the half, aren't you feeling pretty good?
Yeah. At that point, it's just, let your defense take care of the ball. Have some possession. Don't do anything too silly. Don't commit any penalties. Don't give anybody anything easy. Keep that effort up and just protect the net.
Man, I also got to tell you, the atmosphere was good for Sunday. Very
lot of sun.
Great. Very sunny, a little windy and chilly at times. That's all right. Nothing a hoodie couldn't handle. It was really nice. Not like that KC Current game where it was the same temperature, but like 0 wind. That was rough. But, dude, this game went downhill. When we get a penalty kick, boom, we get a penalty shot. Willy Agada steps up. You have to, right? You have to let Willy take it because he's on a hat trick. Like that, isn't that just kind of the unwritten rules of soccer? If you have 2 goals,
unless you have a PK taker, that's what he does, like a Benny Feilhaber, like that.
Yeah,
it's what he did well. But yeah, it was
still. I think he would have passed it up, right? He would have passed it up to somebody. But dude, I was worried about this. I was like, I don't know, man. Is Willie the guy to take PKs? I mean, wouldn't Eric Tommy come in? Even Daniel Shallowy? I don't know if Willie is that guy. And lo and behold, man, he misses the goal completely. And it was just, that's where the game started to go. It just felt bad.
Do you remember the Open Cup? Was it semi-final against, was it Sacramento?
Mm-hmm.
Or something like that? He missed a PK then badly. And ever since then, I
thought he made a PK and then did a bunch of flips.
I know
or wasn't it? Didn't he make it in the shootout? Because a penalty shootout at the end, he did make that one.
Yeah, maybe there was the keeper came off the line or something. Something really weird happened, but he just does not look like a PK taker to me.
That's right. I think he got saved, if I'm remembering correctly. The keeper came off the line, and so he got a redo. And then made it
barely or something like that.
Then did a bunch of flips.
I do not want him as the guy to take the PKs. I just don't.
I don't mind having him scoring all the other goals. The man can get in these dangerous positions.
Right.
And I'm just like, dude, then Portland gets a PK. And it's like, oh no. Momentum bar, dude. We're fully at Sporting side. And now it's just, it's gradually going back to Portland. You can just feel it in the air.
What was Leibel doing? He was just jumping at him with his back.
Jumping into him.
That was poor defense, by the way, first and foremost. But it was just reckless, and you can't do that in the box.
I don't know what your mindset is after halftime when you're up 3-0. There's got to be a sense of comfort, but there has to be a sense of focus where you don't do fouls like that. You don't give away the easy pass and everything like that. Peter said, I'm not going to tell you what I told the guys at halftime, but what I told them to do, we did the complete opposite, which resulted in the ball being in our end most of the half, or at least until they tied the game up, except for the period getting to the penalty kick. So true, man. I would love to know what Peter said, because whatever he said, they did not do, apparently.
What does that say about the leadership on the field?
Where's Johnny Russell, man? I've heard, I was hearing rumors that Johnny gave some big post-game speech. That got passionate and Braveheart worthy.
I want to hear that.
Would love to hear that. I'm sure that, dude, we can only wildly speculate onto what was said there. But he's just you got to get your shit together, bruv. You got to get it together. Because you got to close out these games. How do you go manage a great game in a pretty great environment in Toronto against a decent defensive team like Toronto, and then you come here and you got a struggling Portland team coming on the road. They've lost the last 3 games. They're just desperate, and you got the game in the bag. Even the announcers were like, "Oh, 3-0 Sporting they probably feel like they've sealed it, and they almost surely have." And it's like, no, why? Because goddamn Eclipse is coming, and everyone's crazy.
Well, the second goal, they were just watching. It was like they were watching, Millie, I think, took a deflection or stopped her or something. The ball was bouncing around. But the team just watched it. They didn't attack the ball. They didn't try to. It was like they're counting on somebody else to make a play. And when the ball is that close to your net, it's just not good enough.
And Melia, there's that one ball that the header that came down, and it was over the line, but Melia swatted it away, but it had already gone. And it was like, God, this sucks. They're coming, dude. It's now it's 3-2, and then it's 3-3, and it's going kind of end to end in the last moments. And when the whistle blew, I'll tell you this, coming home with my friend who's not really a sports guy, we were in the car, and he's just like, this feels sad. He's like, I felt like we'd be driving home, having fun, pumping music, and I was like, no, buddy, this is sports, and this is a horrible feeling, and we've had these before. It just sucks. Yes, it's a draw, but when it's that big of a comeback, damn it if it doesn't feel like a loss,
Well, what happens when we're in that situation again? How does the team deal with that mentality? Do they just struggle with being up, or are they able to lock it down mentally and defensively and kind of right that ship?
Bro, they're going to get mad. They're going to have to. They're going to have to get mad and really get their shit together to put together a 100-minute performance, because there was 10 minutes of stoppage time, for God's sakes. I can't stand when a soccer game goes into triple digits like that, into the hundreds. I'm like, this is a regular season game. That should never happen. I don't get it. But there was a lot of flopping, a lot of people on the ground, even on our time.
Was it Tommy rolled around like he was just flailing around off to the side? And I think they scored on that possession.
Probably. There was one time a guy went down on the ground, thought he had the foul. This was a Portland guy. And he looks up and he sees that the flag's off for offsides. And he stands back up and starts running. And I was like, oh my God, you are not hurt at all, you son of a bitch.
Do you know how hard it is to convince non-soccer fans to watch soccer, and that's the stuff they see? Like they'll watch football, MMA, hockey, what have you, and they just get touched and they dive and pull their theatrics out. And
yeah,
I don't know. I wish they could do something about that. That's a whole other conversation, but
it's a whole other conversation, man. Elenis Vargas got on here at the end. I really do like seeing him. I think there's a huge upside to this man.
Absolutely.
Excited to see him in the future. Every player on our team had good moments. And I will say, guys, this is not all doom and gloom. I know everyone's like, Vermees out. He mismanaged the game. And it's like, when do the players get some accountability? Vermees can't stay focused for 90 minutes on the field. They have to do it. And I think they're aware of that. So you see the chances we're getting. You see we're scoring like 3 goals per game. That's huge. And that's something to be excited about, man. I don't know, +2 goal differential. It's 7 games in, so long season.
A lot of time to fix that mistake or that issue moving forward.
A lot of time. Hey, we are going to take a quick little break. And then when you come back, you're going to hear me and Jimmy with Jake Davis. So hang on right there.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
All right, guys, welcome back. As promised, we have a very special guest. Perhaps you've heard his name a little bit these last few weeks and last few seasons. We're here with Jake Davis, right back for Sporting Kansas City. Jake, thanks for joining us, man. How's everything going?
Pretty good. It's been a good day. Done with training now, and now I'm talking to you guys, so it's pretty good.
Yeah, man. We're recording this before the Portland game. This will actually release on Monday, so we will know, or on Tuesday, so we'll know the results of everything. So we won't try to preview that Portland game with you or anything, but I will say, you guys all ready for the game, though?
Yeah, it's been a good week. I think nothing exciting, just a normal week preparation for the game, and I think we're all there's a lot of momentum from the Toronto game, so I think we're all ready to get a result at home this weekend.
Another day at the office. That's what you sound like here.
Yeah, not like so complacent. Just like we've done our dues. We've done our job today, and we're prepared.
I got to say, man, when we had Daniel Shallowy on, he sent us autographed kits. Did you send us anything?
He's like, not this again.
Yeah,
I don't want to do this again.
PTSD.
Got to jump into that right away, right? I mean, how was that? How was that feeling, man? You look like you wanted to die right there.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I've talked about this so much now, but I think, if you want me to be honest, I think at first, during the whole time, I just really thought Daniel had made a really good impact on the kids before me. So I didn't think it was really unusual. I just thought these kids really liked Daniel, and I know Daniel's a pretty good guy. So I was happy to answer questions about him. And then, I think everything was, even the math questions and the spelling, pretty normal in my head. I just thought it was a fun time. And then when the kids started chanting, we want Daniel, that's kind of the part where I was like, that doesn't feel right. And then I just thought, I was like, man, these kids just don't like me, I guess. And so then when Daniel walked in, it wasn't more of like, oh, it's April Fool's. It was just more like, thank God Daniel's here so I can get out of here.
I think I might have looked at the production team and been like, Jesus, why didn't you guys bring Daniel? Like, clearly they want Daniel.
That's why everyone was pretty good like it was like a skit. Like I kept looking at the teacher and the media person that was there, and their faces were basically like, what are these kids doing? So then I was just like, what are these kids doing? Not in a bad way, like not up until they started chanting, I was very calm. And then when they started chanting, that's when I looked at everybody, and then they did a pretty good job of, making it look like, oh no, what's happening? And then I believed it. But then Daniel walked in, and then after a minute, he said, April Fool's, Jake. And then, it took, honestly, probably about 10 more seconds of me realizing, oh, April Fool's. And then I, got it, and it was pretty funny after.
You're going to have to start plotting your revenge at this point for next year.
Yeah, maybe just kill him with kindness. I don't know.
There you go. See, you're too nice of a guy.
Yeah.
So, talking about soccer and what's happened on the field, obviously, you've been in demand the last couple of weeks quite a bit, but if we could rewind back to this time in 2023, or even before the 2023 season, and if I tell you that in April 2024 you're going to be starting at right back for Sporting Kansas City, you'll be making MLS Team of the Match Day, you'll be up for Player of the Match Day, you'll be scoring bangers from distance and getting compared to somebody like a future sporting legend in Graham Zusi, how would that all hit Jake Davis in early 2023 before this all transpired?
Probably would have told you to calm down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think I really try to make this clear when I talk to people. Like, I feel like I just try not to change my mentality. I mean, I've had a lot of the spotlight lately, and obviously, like you said, I've been in demand, and I think it's special. I feel very grateful to have fans that love me as a player, as a person, and and I also know what it feels like to not be known. Like last year, April, 2023. Mm-hmm. Not that I wasn't not known, but I had a lot of work to do and a lot to prove. And so I think if you would have told me that, I probably would have looked at you funny, but it would have sparked something inside me more like, all right, if he's saying it, maybe I could do it. And then I would push myself to do it. So, yeah, maybe I would tell you to calm down, but for sure I would, my mentality wouldn't change to try to achieve something like where I am right now, but along with, keep going for more.
That's cool, man. It's probably not easy for everyone to stay as humble as that. I mean, it's obviously part of the game. You do good stuff, you get recognition, stuff like that. But you strike me as a guy who just wants to keep his head down and do a good job, and goals don't come from that position very often. So when they do, it's probably pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is amazing. And I don't want to downplay it. I don't want it to make it sound like I'm downplaying everything, because obviously I scored a pretty good goal against a good team in Toronto, and we won the game, and it's good. It's good. And I just think that how I got to where I was last year, or even how I got to when I signed my first homegrown deal, was always just kind of keep my head down, do the work. And I never needed the spotlight. And, like I said, I'm very grateful, and I can never complain about it, because it's amazing to talk to you guys and have such a very kind fan base towards me and a supportive fan base. But, I was always used to just, all right, like head down. No one has to see the work right now, but they'll see it eventually. And I think I just try to continue doing that. And obviously it's not like I'm sitting here thinking, all right, I can't talk to these guys. That's not it. I just think that when I go out to practice, I still have the mentality that I got more to prove, and I've got a lot to work on as a player, never satisfied. And, I'll give you some perspective here. Like you said, I scored a really good goal in Toronto. Really cool, really proud moment for myself. I mean, it's special, right? To score a goal in MLS. When you get the match ball, everyone signs it and they write their little messages. It's awesome. And then, 2 days later, we have a training session, and I didn't train that good, and it, ruined my day. So it's, and I'm not the type of guy to think, when I leave the pitch, it's okay. I scored a goal this weekend. I can have, it doesn't sit with me well like that. I just try to move on to the next day at a time and try to get better. And, I think it's easy to, obviously look back, I scored a goal. So yeah, this weekend, that it doesn't, I don't work like that. I just want to keep getting better. And every time I go on the training field, I just want to keep proving people that I'm the guy for the job. And I want to keep proving people that I can take in information and put it out on the field. And I'm committed to being a better player.
Well, you're doing a great job, man. I mean, that position of right back largely belonged to Graham Zusi for a good while. And he kind of started out as a winger and then started dipping back into midfield and then right back. And some newer fans might not know that you are or were a midfielder. And Peter comes to you and says, hey, people got hurt. I mean, we need someone there. You can do this. How'd that conversation go with Peter, that very first conversation when he's like, I want you to take on this responsibility?
Like my first game at right back?
Yeah.
There wasn't really much of a conversation. It was just, it's nothing against Peter at all. He was just kind of, all right, Jake's played right back before. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what was the thought process behind it. Obviously, I'm very grateful that he took a chance on me there. But, yeah, I don't know. I just think that he's seen me play there before. And actually, I think the game before Tulsa Athletic, I actually traveled with the second team, and I didn't start. And then Benny subbed me on as an outside back in like the 80th minute. And I thought, I don't know if that made a difference, but then obviously the next game that was up was Tulsa Athletic, and then I had a chance there, and I did well again. So I think Peter knows me pretty well as a player, that I'm not going to, throw my hands up and complain about playing a different position. I think I'm very open-minded, and again, like I said, I'm always trying to prove myself, my worth, and so if it meant playing a right back, that's what I'm going to do, and I was never upset about that. I was just glad to play.
Do you think it's more work as a right back than being in the midfield, or is it just too different to compare?
It's just different type of work, different type of focus, different type of physical demand, I'd say. Midfield, you have a little bit more freedom to take shots, take risks, and and when you're in the back line, you're the last line of defense. You got to be sure of your decisions. And I'm not saying in midfield you can't be sure, but in midfield you can take shots at pressing, you can take shots at passing, different type of situations you're put in.
Dan mentioned that before you, Graham Zusi had that position locked down for a number of years, and like you said, similar transition, midfielder. He went up to winger and then right back. So as you were transitioning and became the consistent right back, and Graham obviously was rehabbing from injury, what was it like having somebody who's experienced, in some ways, a similar transition from more of a midfield attacking role into a more permanent right back role? And how did having a veteran like Graham, even if he couldn't be on the field, help you in that transition?
Yeah, I think when he was here, it was never a sit-down conversation. Hey, Jake, this is what you need to do. This is what you should look for. I remember for Tulsa Athletic game, we were out there training, and he was running around the field, and he'd pull me aside and say something fast, and something that was meaningful tactically wise, Mm-hmm. And obviously he had the belief like, you're a good player, you can do this, you can do that. And then I think as the season went on, as I kept playing, and then he kind of came back, and then he obviously got re-injured, but his support was always there, and his guidance was too. I think, like I said, it was never a sit-down, full-blown conversation, but when we'd be out there, or the day after a game, he'd say something he noticed, and I think those things have gone a long way.
Was there ever a part where, obviously he had been here for a while, and you're stepping into the same position, and there are parallels, but you're two different players. You have your own unique tendencies and styles, and he's got his own unique tendencies and styles. So was there a part of that transition where, you sort of had to have this like mental perspective where you're like, he was his player, he was Graham Zusi, but I'm Jake Davis. I'm going to play this position. I'm going to take his advice, but I'm going to make this position my own and sort of put my own unique perspective and style on the position.
Nah, I just think that I played the position how I do, and was never afraid to take in advice and try to adapt things and incorporate things in my game. I think that I'm a very coachable player, and when someone gives me advice, gives me constructive criticism, I'm never going to be one to walk away and blow someone off. I'm always taking stuff in, no matter what it's said. And so no, when I first started to play more often, I was never like, all right, let's make this mine. It was just always like, all right, how can I take in everything and then, try to use that to my advantage?
Sure.
Man, you say it with such calm and coolness, right? I think we we all think of it like, oh man, we're replacing Graham Zeus, and you're like, I'm just me, man. I'm just Jake, dude. I got that Michigan swagger.
No. I mean, obviously, I think the truth is that there was obviously a bit of luck in it too, and I'm not afraid to say that. I mean, I like the truth. I like to look things in the eye and be honest. You know, before I started playing, there were a number of injuries. Zeus was hurt. Caden Pierre was hurt. Cam Duke had played the games before, and I hadn't played. I was, still hunting for a midfielder spot. And so the truth is, this is what happens in sports. People get hurt, different opportunities come along, and luckily I was just in a spot to stay ready and get a chance. Those two things, when they come together for any player, it's good. When you're ready to play, ready to take the chance, and then you get the chance. And I think that fortunately I was in that boat.
Yeah. You just make it your own, man. I love it. We had Graham Zusi on the podcast a while back, and we also had Seth Sinovic, former left back for SKC, and they had both mentioned potential being able to hear Peter Vermees as you stream up and down the sidelines and stuff, making your runs and everything. You get any of that? Do you hear a lot of PV chatter as you're going to make a run?
Yeah, I do, but that's not a negative thing at all. I think that obviously people know Peter, intense person, good coach, and anything, when I'm on his side or when Tim's on his side, it's, never trying to break us down. He's always trying to help us in the game and learn things that are going on in the game, because obviously he's not out there on the field being able to dictate stuff. So when he gets the chance, especially because we're so close to him, to give us information about the game, it's always useful. So it's fine with me.
Does he kind of use you as does he use the outside backs as like messengers? Like, hey, when you get a chance, tell Fontas this.
Sometimes, yeah. Actually, I mean, it's not common, but I would say that if there's not a break or if someone's down with an injury and he can't call everyone in fast enough, he'll either bring me or when Johnny's playing over or whoever's closest and just kind of, all right, this is what we want to work, or like just some information.
You mentioned Johnny, and Johnny obviously when he's on the field, he's not only the captain, but he's the right winger, the starting right winger, and he's been around the club now for, I don't know, 6-7 years. It's been a while. And you and him in your year or so playing right back have seemed to develop a pretty decent partnership and some good chemistry on that side of the field. And obviously Peter's system asks a lot from the fullback in the attacking phase of play. So what's it been like playing alongside someone like Johnny, who sort of became probably a future sporting legend in his own right, but also developing when you're early in your career, having the captain of the team be somebody that you're so consistently interacting with on the field?
Yeah, I think along with being a good guy, he's a great soccer player. And so from when I started the game against Montreal, Seattle, and so on, although him and I have a lot of banter, I think, he supports me a lot when we're on the field, and he's, encouraging. And when I make a good play, he lets me know. And when I need to do something, like I told you, like the truth in the face. When I make a good play, he's there to make sure he tells me, good job, keep it up. If I, do something that's not needed in the game, he'll let me know. And I think that's the most important thing that he's helped me with, is the transparency of, how I'm doing, what my game looks like, and how I'm helping the team. But obviously him also being a good player helps. I mean, I think that just says it. I think I'm a good soccer player too, but obviously playing with him and his strengths, I think, complement my strengths. I work hard. He works hard. He's really good on the ball. He's calm. He wants the ball under pressure, and I can give it to him, but I'm there to run and support. And I think, I think he's a really good player, and I'm very grateful to play with him.
When we had Johnny and Daniel actually on separately before, they have recounted some legendary tales of Johnny Russell pranks. So have you been on the receiving end, or have you witnessed any of Johnny Russell's shenanigans? Because even in my time when I've been around the team, when it's not in the middle of the game, you can tell that, especially when things are going well, Johnny's a fun and feisty individual.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes on around here.
Any that's safe for you to recount?
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's wholesome. I mean, I don't know if there's like individual stuff, but like, I mean, I can say this. Sometimes when I have slides, we wear slides around, and when we go to the gym for activation, we have these big panels like as decorations, and he'll take my slides and throw it up there so they get stuck up there. So I've gone through a couple slides now. Yeah.
Are they still up there?
They actually got them down the other day, so the slides I'm wearing right now were up there, and now I have them back. So
okay,
all dusty and stuff.
Yeah.
Gosh. Jake, I want to circle back for a brief moment. What's been some of the most difficult parts of transitioning from midfielder to defender?
I'd say I just think decision making is a lot different. I think as a defender, I wouldn't say the word is conservative, but I'd say that I think your decisions have to be spot on, and the type of risks you take and the decisions, when I say decision making, it's not just on the ball. It's, going to press, going to take a shot to win the ball back, playing a ball forward, where you're running, what you say to people in front of you. I think everything as the back line matters a lot more. You're the last line of defense. And, I think that has been my hardest part of adapting to that position, because, when I played midfield, I wasn't, the maestro. I wasn't maestro. I was, work hard, win the ball back, press. The guy that does the dirty yards, win the ball back, give the ball to the guy that's going to go make the goal. I'm obviously, I can play soccer. Those weren't just my strengths, but I think there I would take a lot more shots and risks to win the ball back and to make certain passes, and going to right back, being in the last line, those differ, I'd say.
It's a great point, man, because, when you're in midfield, you could be like, oh, I got Fonte back there. If the guy gets past me, he's not getting past Fonte.
Yeah.
And now it's like you might not have anybody to back you up. And my season ticket seats, I'm over in that corner flag in the southeast section. I get a lot of Jake Davis time back there, man, and it's it's been a blast to watch you this season. Yeah. So you're doing great.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
So, Jake, obviously, you're early in your career still here at Sporting Kansas City. Hopefully you have many years of a career left in front of you. If it were up to us, we'd love to see you as the lockdown right back for Sporting Kansas City for the next 10 to 15 years. But as is the case with young, talented players, I'm sure at some point there are aspirations that you'd like to shoot for or achieve. So what are your ultimate career aspirations? What is Europe something you'd like to shoot for one day? Do you even know that at this point, or are you thinking that far down the road? Do you look at, somebody like Gianluca Buzio, who I'm sure you know pretty well, and see what he's done? And does that help you kind of figure out what you want to do? What are you thinking in terms of ultimate career aspirations?
I'm not just saying this to be different, but the truth is that obviously it's exciting to think about all those things, but the only thing I'm worried about right now is where I'm at. It's at Sporting. We have a game this Sunday. That's all I'm thinking about. I think it's exciting as a soccer fan to think about where you could play, what are the clubs out there. I think those are amazing things as a soccer fan to think about. But as a professional, I played for Sporting Kansas City. I'm a right back. I have a game this Sunday, and I need to do the best I can to make sure we get 3 points. And that's the truth. I don't want to curve your whole question, but I think that's kind of my mentality, and I think that's what works for me. I'm very much in the present, and what can I do today to become a better player? What can I do today to make sure I'm prepared for Sunday? And I think that's the only way I can answer that.
Well, and I would guess, too, it probably helps having a manager like Peter Vermees, who's been with a club like Sporting for a long time. He's been very vocal before about, he wants to help players not only develop, but do right by players. So knowing that the decisions Peter makes are generally in the best interest of not just the club, but the player, probably frees you up a little bit to be like, hey, I can worry about that when the time comes, but right now I'm going to trust him, trust the process, and just focus on the task at hand.
Yeah, I think, of course, that's a good way to look at it. Everyone's a club I trust. I think everyone believes in me. I believe in everyone, and I think I have a really good relationship with everyone here. So And if something like that came down the line, I can trust that there are the right people in line to make sure that the club, myself, and the staff are making the best decisions. But like I said, as of right now, I'm just focused on sporting, and we have a game this Sunday.
I think we all should be living in the moment like that. That sounds stress-free. Jake, it's sort of coming towards the tail end of this thing here. We kind of just want to hit you with some fun, quick hitter, not necessarily soccer specific stuff. So that being said, I mean, if you weren't a soccer player, what profession do you think you'd be doing? What would you be great at? What would you enjoy?
Jeez. Like sports or just anything?
Anything, man. Any hobby? I mean, are you a big gamer, esports, anything? I don't know.
I think I can answer this two ways. I mean, if I wasn't a soccer player, I mean, I maybe would have been a teacher. I don't know. Okay. But if I was trying to do another sport, and I think some of the guys will laugh at this, but truthfully, I think I'd have the best chance in golf. Not that I'm any good, but I think I could work hard to get good at it. I like basketball, but I couldn't be a basketball player. Yeah, I don't know. I don't really think about that too much, but I would definitely find something that I would love to do and be able to do it every day.
Are you and the guys hitting the golf course? Is that why you say that they laugh at it? They've seen your swing and they think it's questionable?
I think sometimes, like lately, we haven't really been golfing, but sometimes, like, you know, after the practice is done, I'll just go like a range by my apartment and I'll just hit. And I mean, I've been golfing with them before, and I'm not the best golfer, but I mean, if I wasn't playing soccer every day, I could, and I needed a job, I could probably guarantee I could get really good at it at some point and somehow make money. But again, that's glass half full. Who knows if that would ever be able to happen? But obviously, that's not the case here. So
when you obviously so much of your life is soccer, training, games, working out, nutrition, everything. But when training's done, when you get home, and maybe you get back from the driving range, you hit your apartment, are there any like guilty pleasures that you have, like as a TV show, like you throwing on, you know, Love is Blind or WWE SmackDown or whatnot, and just being like, I'm just going to totally disconnect and turn my brain off? Or are you a soccer junkie who will put on other games and watch?
Well, that's what I was going to say. I watch soccer all the time. Yesterday there was, what was yesterday? No, not yesterday. Wednesday and Tuesday, there were the CONCACAF games.
Yeah.
Watched those. Premier League yesterday or Wednesday. I think there was yesterday. I don't know. But yeah, to answer your question, I watch soccer all the time. Yes, that's my main TV show, I guess you could say. But yeah, I mean, of course, I just watched a show on Netflix called The Gentleman, Ozark, Peaky Blinders, you know, Yellowstone. I think when I find a good TV show, I make sure I watch it or binge it. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're obviously as a soccer junkie, do you have a European club or another club you've had an affinity for that you kind of cheer for?
Yeah, I like Arsenal.
Okay.
It's my team.
Fine.
Yeah.
Do you not like that answer, Jim?
Oh, I mean, I'm an Everton fan, so I'm irrelevant to most people. So
that is not a good answer.
Look at Jake. Yeah. That's not good. Nice.
They in the relegation zone?
No, we are. Hey, excuse you. We're like 4 points above it right now because we got our 4 points back from the.
Yeah.
So it's you know
that's a tough life.
It's not but what I got to go to Goodison and it was incredible.
Okay, so. Now that makes sense. Now I can see why. That makes sense.
Yeah. Jake, do you have a like a pregame ritual, maybe a meal or a superstition of any kind?
No, I just say I eat the same things before on a game day. In the day.
What do you eat?
Probably I have some pasta. We play Sundays, so I'll have pasta tomorrow night, and then on Sunday I'll eat a very normal breakfast like eggs, toast, bacon, you know, and then for lunch I'll have some fruit, and then I'll have like a sandwich, you know, like nothing that's too filling, I'd say.
Right. Keep it light so you can stay quick.
Mm-hmm.
I feel Is there any player in the locker room that has just maybe a bizarre pregame ritual that you've just been like, what are they doing?
I don't think so. Not that I've seen. Maybe there is, but I don't think so. No.
Okay.
Have after a win, I've been in the locker room for the media interviews after a win, and I know that the music's bumping. Have you ever been given the reins of the Spotify playlist after a win?
No, my music that I like is probably not for a post game win, but I think whoever does the post game win music is usually good at it. Whether that's Cassie or Daniel or John Farrell, I don't know.
What's your go-to music of choice?
I don't even know the genre. I mean, I don't really have. I just like individual songs. You know, there's not like an artist specifically, or I just kind of find random songs that I have a liking to, and I'll listen to it. And, you know, I don't even know if I don't even think I have a playlist. It's just in my search bar. You know, like I'll hear a song, look it up. When I want to listen to it, go to the search bar. You know,
You don't not swaying towards hip hop or popular music, anything like that.
I mean, yeah. I mean, of course, there's hip hop songs, there's rap songs. I mean, there's all the genres I would like. It's just not like one. You know, it's kind of sporadic, I'd say.
Brilliant.
Cowboy country, Jake.
Nah,
maybe not
that's what's low on my list.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you pepper some in. That's a great time. Yellowstone, man, that's full of country music.
That's different. After Yellowstone, I wanted to buy a fur coat and a horse. Like, yeah.
I'm dying. Hey, I broke out the cowboy hat when I started watching Yellowstone. I was like, this is me now.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, it's that was a good show.
Oh, man. I'm going to finish it off here with you. What is the funniest or most embarrassing moment you've ever experienced during a game or maybe even training? Funny or embarrassing?
During a game? Can it be any game?
Or training. Yeah, anything that comes to mind.
At any
Well,
level,
I mean,
too.
I'm not really. I mean, I don't really care. This is way in the past. But after I scored my second, I scored 2 goals against Louisville in the USL. And the second goal, I was shushing the fans and I fell backwards, backpedaling. And then the whole stadium was kind of having a shot at me. But I don't know. I scored 2 goals, so I didn't really care.
You got the goal. That's flat.
That's all that matters. But God, that feels. That must have felt.
Yeah, that
some
was.
way.
I mean, at the time, I thought it was kind of funny. On Twitter, Louisville fans would tweet me banana peels and stuff. But honestly, I'm not really one to fall for that stuff. I actually think it's kind of cool. It's kind of funny. So
If you can't laugh at yourself, man, I mean, you got to laugh at yourself.
yeah, it was good.
That's awesome. Well, Jake, we really appreciate the time that we've had you here. Congrats on how things have gone recently. We know soccer is a game of up and down form, so keep up the good work. We appreciate you being on here and your mentality with the club and all that you've done, and we wish you continued success as long as you're here and in your career.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much, guys.
We appreciate you supporting KC Sports Network by listening to our podcast. You have helped us become the highest-ranked Chiefs podcast network in 2022 and 2023. And don't forget about our daily Substack newsletter, the best written analysis you can find on the Chiefs straight to your inbox every day. kcsn.substack.com.
All right. Dude, I know you have not been able to hear the Jake Davis interview yet.
I'm like everybody else. I gotta wait till it comes out.
You got to wait, man. But I'll tell you right now, I had some quick little takeaways from there. The man made me laugh. Okay, we were talking about, he really popped me pretty good. I leaned back in my chair and like grabbed my chest like, oh, and he said something about, we were talking about music, and he mentioned he had watched like Yellowstone. I was like, hey man, Yellowstone got me into some country music every now and then. And he goes, Yellowstone had me wanting to buy a fur coat and a horse. And I was like, this just drove me crazy. Very funny. Man's got some style, man. And it's been really cool to watch his come up these last 3 years, you know?
What a player, man. I mean, he's probably one of the best prospects Sporting has had in a while. So,
yeah.
I'm on the Jake train, man. Can't wait to see what it becomes.
Well, I love talking to him also about how it's just different for me in a midfielder. You know, before he can kind of have be a little more free in the midfield. You know, you got strikers in front of you. You got defenders behind you. You know, you got a little backup. But now as a defender, you know, you don't necessarily have that backup. Like it's you. So you got to be like more intentional with your decision making It was just really cool to hear him elaborate on that a little bit. But dude, he scored a banger a couple weeks ago, man, and it was all anyone was talking about, that knuckleball down the side there.
I'm pretty sure it disappeared from my TV because I saw him hit it, and then I saw it like in the back of the net. So I don't know if it went faster than the frame rate on my TV or what, but it was good.
I'm telling you, man, we got some players on this team that can shoot the ball. We get a lot of outside shooting going on. I think we haven't seen the end of that either, and Jake's confidence is only going to grow as well, I'd say.
Yeah.
I think he had a shot this weekend that it got blocked by a defender, but he was teeing up. He was ready to let it go. You could tell. Cool. Again, thank you, Jake, man, for being on here. That was a hell of a time. So hopefully we can do more of those conversations with players and stuff. I hope you guys are tuning into Currently as well, because we're hitting interviews over there too. It's a hell of a time. But let's shift gears because we got to head into Missouri this weekend, man. It's not an away game, but we are playing in a different stadium at GEH Field at Arrowhead Stadium. Are you going to be able to make the game?
I will. I'll be probably riding up with you.
Probably so. I have a musical audition Saturday. I am auditioning for Rent. Are you familiar with Rent?
I know it's a Broadway musical.
Yeah.
I know.
Hold on. Did I not say GEHA Field? What did I say?
GEH.
I'm pretty sure I said A. GEHA Field. No, you guys, I said GEHA Field. I know what I'm talking about. Well, I meant to. All right, I get to talking, and the words just drop off. You slur them sometimes. Get the hell out of here. Nick, get out the chat.
Keeping us honest.
So, dude, it's gonna be fun. I mean, it's there's a lot of hate on this at first. I think from a lot of people, like, why would you do this? And a little cash grab, and it's like, that's why. I mean, why wouldn't you? If you have this opportunity, why not open it up to get more people in seats and make a thing out of this, man? I mean, what, you think Miami didn't raise their tickets when Messi and them came to town? I know for a fact they did, because when I went to Miami last year, I was sitting next to a guy who was like, yeah, we miss the old Miami because everything's expensive now. They were like, we're season ticket holders, and now it kind of sucks. We didn't sign up for this. So interesting take. But overall, are you excited, or are you just kind of going with the flow? What's your feeling?
I'm going with the flow. I mean, I am excited, but with the whole Messi watch, will he, won't he? Like Ross and Rachel, is he gonna play? I think he will. I don't know how many minutes. That's my gut feeling, but to say that you saw one of the best players of all time in Messi, man, and see him with your own eyes, and along with Suarez and some of those other players that have dominated Europe for so long. I'm really excited.
They're big names, man. They're people you've seen on your TV, like playing for Argentina and Uruguay and all that stuff. So
Barcelona, 4 Barcelona players on there?
Yeah. And Miami, man, they are, they're firing all cylinders, and then they weren't. They're in the middle of a little Champions League, CONCACAF Champions Cup situation right now. So they will be playing Monterrey midweek, and then traveling from Mexico. I don't even know if they'll go home. I mean, do you think they would, or do you think they'd come straight to Kansas City?
They play on the 10th at 9:30.
Yeah.
And they play not even 3 full days later at 7:30 in Kansas City.
I kind of imagine they would just come to Kansas City, right, and train here.
Yeah, I would think so. Maybe a quick pit stop. I don't know.
Maybe not even training. I mean, at that point, when it's 3 days, I don't know how much training you do, and instead of just active recovery.
Right.
You're not going hardcore. So if there's anything we got going for us, it's that we don't have a midweek game. So I wouldn't say I'm nervous about this game as I would have been other times. I mean, I don't know, man. They're third in the East. They've scored a total of 16 goals. They've allowed 12, with the +4 goal differential. They're hit and miss on stuff. I mean, they just tied Colorado the other night. So I don't know what to make of this team sometimes, but I see us scoring 3 goals a game. I'm feeling pretty good about it.
Yeah. I mean, their last 5 games, they beat DC, lost to Red Bulls. I mean, they're kind of hit and miss, man. Their last 5 games are not completely strong. I mean, Messi's back, so maybe he's taking some time to work back in. But to me, this game is more of an experience.
Well, he scored, right? He scored against Colorado. That guy, he's amazing. I want to hate him so bad, but I'm like, I recognize greatness. You have to, and it's frustrating, but it is what it is.
He makes the hard things look effortless.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what he does, and it's remarkable to see. And he's still in his prime. I don't buy that he's, is just an old guy coming to the MLS, narrative that's, not accurate anymore.
Bro, it's just their freaking roster is just full of names that are just getting stuff done. Alba, Busquets, Callender, Campana, Cremashi, Julian Gressel, Leo Messi. It's just it's so much, man. And they're not letting up anytime soon. Luis Suarez.
I mean, when you have Suarez who leads the team in goals and assists with 8, and Messi's right behind you, and Campana's behind him. I mean, it's not bad. Suarez has an expected goal of 3.9.
Jesus. I will say I'm a little excited.
It's an event. It's an experience, right? That's how I'm mentally treating it. I want to win, but
it's a new thing, and I think everyone who has season tickets got like comparable location as far as their season tickets are at Sporting. So I think that's kind of cool. Because from where I'll be sitting, it's like I've never sat that close at a Chiefs game before. It's gonna be wild. Whereas Sporting, everyone's got close seats pretty much. They're all pretty comparable. So, but we're not in the nosebleeds at the Chiefs by any means, man. It's gonna be great.
What do you think Sporting has to do to win this game?
Dude, I don't know. How about put together a full 90-minute performance? I mean, that doesn't seem like it's too much to ask. I don't know. I don't know how else to... That's it. Like, they're doing the right things. They just need to put together a full 90.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. So, man, well, that's... Yeah, not much to preview on this, guys. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if we get a tired, rotated lineup from Inter Miami, or if they'll, they might flub out a Champions Cup and be ready to put everything towards the league. We'll just have to see what happens. But overall, I'd say everyone stay positive. Try to stay, go with the flow. I don't know what the parking situation is going to be like. It's going to get crazy out there, man. I don't know how many tickets, 60, 70,000. How many seats are in that thing? 65?
That I don't know. Waiting for Nick to chime in.
72. There it is. 72,000 people. So I just think about the cars. How many of those are going to be? It's going to be, we're just going to stay patient, man. Get through the day.
Are we going to park a ways and then walk, or what are we? I don't know.
I don't know, man. If anyone's got a scooter to loan me, I mean, I'd be down to scoot. A little boot scoot, but it's, your boy's getting some hip pains over here, man. Well, cool. Hey, do we need to... God damn, it's a fast pod, guys. We're not talking much because Jake Davis took up a lot of that. So, thanks, Chris, for joining me for 20 freaking minutes.
Always happy to hop on with you.
Appreciate you, man. We're, hey, guys, you should really tune into Currently tomorrow, though, because we're going to have a special guest, I believe. So, definitely get on over there. And I just looked up, man, we do have a new review right now. So I get to read this with you on here. Guys, if you get to do so, leave a podcast rating and review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get that. Email us, knowitpod@gmail.com. Give us nice words, whatever. But Mem99 said, favorite podcast. Holy shit. 5 stars. No other pod is the only podcast that I listen to every episode. Everyone who follows KC Soccer should be listening. Also, as someone who loves film, as much as I love soccer, it's fun hearing you guys talk a little about movies every now and then. Thank you for being entertaining. And with that, I'll say, I'm seeing Monkey Man tomorrow, my guy.
I expect reviews you during the current.
You will get a review. You seen previews for that crazy movie?
It looks pretty cool. I love the action.
I know you love martial arts and stuff.
Yeah.
And so when that's part of it, I'm like, Chris is going to see this.
I'm going to see it. I got my movie pass. I'm going to see it.
Movie pass. Look at that. So back from the dance.
I still got it.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Oh, cool. Oh, hey, did you go stare at the sun at all today?
I did. Luckily, I did. I did. Luckily, my work had some glasses, so I didn't burn my retinas. So that's something.
Tell me what this is about. What's the novelty? All right, because I think everyone's being a bunch of dorks. Tell me what it is.
It's, it's one of those things that's once in a so often in certain time frame here. We won't get one for a while. So
what did it change you? I was mowing the lawn during it, so I could absorb all its powers, like as it happened. So I feel changed, but I did not look at it. I side-eyed it. I was like this.
I tried to take a couple pictures. It did not work out as well as I was hoping.
NASA said not to do that.
But I did it through the sunglasses, or I tried.
Oh, solid plan.
Yeah.
So like
what NASA said? NASA told you something?
Yeah, NASA. Yeah, they called me up and gave me a little briefing. Dude, I just need to know, it's just a novelty, just something like, oh, we're all together and enjoying astrology and stuff. Astronomy, is that what it is? Is it togetherness? Help me understand.
It's just I don't know. It's I don't know. It's a phenomenon. It's just something that we don't get to see very often, and it's pretty cool.
Do you go watch like comets and stuff when those fly over too?
I would like to. I just don't make the time. And I forget. It'll be like 2 days ago. I'll be like, oh, crap.
I missed it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've never really gotten the eclipse thing. I know I've been a part of it before, and I was like, why'd we all do that? Why'd we all come outside and do this?
I do have a telescope, and you can see Jupiter and Saturn a little bit.
You have a telescope?
I have a telescope.
Bro.
I haven't used it in like 7 years, but I still have it.
We should break that puppy out and look at some stuff.
Oh, yeah. Just take it to the next current game at night. Just pop that right on the hood of the car.
Yeah, hell. Telescope. Listen to this. We got Mr. Hubble over here. That's good stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's awesome.
Well, thanks for explaining. I'm trying not to be a psychopath and be like, I don't get it. What's that? I'm a grumpy old man. Everyone looking at this sun and moon.
I think there's just something about seeing or doing something that won't happen again for a very long time. It just makes you want to feel like you're, making.
Okay, so that's how I feel when the Chiefs are in the Super Bowl. I'm like, everyone needs to watch this because it may not happen for a very long time. You just don't know
until it does.
You were in '96 or whatever it was.
I was so young. I was enjoying. I thought it was going to happen every year, and then 28 years later, I'm still waiting. So
Cowboys fan. Anyone listening doesn't know. So it's man. So Nick's saying the next total eclipse in Kansas won't be till 2045. That's 21 years from now. Oh boy, we're gonna be pushing 60, my friend. Good. And you know what? I still probably won't go look at it. I don't know, unless my nursing home is ready to check it out. I'm not gonna be in a nursing home at 60 years old. Why did I say that?
Oh, we're not that.
All right. I'll stop being grumpy. Okay. Hey, cool, man. Let's get out of here. We're going to go to that Miami game this weekend, and God dang it, I hope we get it done. I hope we just smack them in the mouth right away, and then
Statement win. Shut down Messi and that powerful offense who average 2 goals a game. Sporting's 1.7. So it should be an exciting offensive game on paper, right? But imagine if we shut them down. What that would do morally for this defense.
The one thing I have to say that I'm not ever going to be comfortable with, I can confidently say I'll never be comfortable with the 3-0 lead. I won't.
No.
Because we've proven that it doesn't freaking matter, dude. And against Messi, you think I'm going to be comfortable with a 3-0 lead? Absolutely not. I'm still convinced we got to get 4. You got to score 4 or 5 to get this thing. Casey Curran are doing it. Good grief. All right. Hey, we've rambled too long. Guys, thank you so much for being here. If you want to hit us up on socials, at No Other Pod, at Dan Kooser, at Chris Wright 21. Jimmy should be back with us next week. Tune in tomorrow for Currently, where we get to talk about an upcoming game, some national team duty, and a special guest is joining us as well. So
excited.
For Chris, what did you say?
Oh, I'm excited.
Yes, you should be excited. It's going to be great. For Chris, I'm Daniel. We'll talk to you guys later. We're scoring 5 goals this weekend.